Hi there. I am Laina Orlando, and I am really honored to share with you another one of these messages. I am the light of the world messages to remind you and to remind me, because they certainly work for me as well, that we really truly are magnificent. What created us? God, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it. The one energy of love that is what everything is made of wants each and every one of us to remember the truth of who we are. So these messages are shared. I share with you what I get inspired to share. And these messages, and they always touch me, these messages are designed to help activate in you a resonance, a remembering, an activation of something that causes you to go, maybe that's true. And if you let yourself have some of these truths be yours, then they activate in you an awakening. They expand you out of a limited idea of who you are, and they expand you into accepting a lot more of who you actually are, because all of us are actually just nothing but light that can exist and create whatever it wants to create. On this planet, we can turn our light as dark as we want to. We can become as evil and as mean as we want to. And we can become as bright as we desire. We can be as light as Jesus and as dark as Hitler. And everything in between is possible, because we are the divine children of the Creator who is playing with light. You know, we are made in the image of God, and what God is like the ultimate magician, the ultimate creative artist, and we are playing with that light. We're playing, we're being our own magicians and creating our own experiences. So these messages are designed to help you remember who you really are, so that you can move out of the darkness and more into the acceptance of the light that is within you, and it's in all of us. But we get trained out of knowing that light is in us, just, because it's the way that the world is. Most people don't remember that they are the light. Heck, I didn't know that till I was in my 40s. And then I've been doing a lot of work to correct my mind, to retrain my mind into thinking with God as opposed to with my ego. And I've had to do a lot of training with my children and apologize for a lot of things that I taught them that are simply not true, so that they can allow themselves to find their own inner light. So the message today comes from lesson 44 in A Course in Miracles. I'm using the 3rd edition. Lesson 44, the title of it is God is the light in which I see. Now, if you're new to the Course in Miracles, some of these things may sound really far out there. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. These are just short little reminders that either activate truth for you, or you go, it's not for me. Either way, it's all good. It doesn't matter. Maybe this message resonates with you in 10 years. Maybe you're way beyond this message, and you can just sit here and celebrate that there are more people receiving truth. If you are at a place maybe even more advanced than me, you can just love on me for the fact that I'm just doing what I'm being guided to do. And then you understand why I do what I do. All right, God is the light in which I see. Sentence 2. Sentence 1 is just letting us know that this is a continuation from the previous lesson, but we didn't read that lesson. So sentence 2, you cannot see in darkness, and you cannot make light. You can make darkness and then think you see in it, but light reflects life and is therefore an aspect of creation. Creation and darkness cannot coexist, but light and life must go together, being but different aspects of creation. What this means is that God created everything that is light. Everything has light in it. We can cover it up and make darkness. We can put blankets over the light to cover it up and not see it. We can put lampshades. We can do all kinds of things to cover the light. However, we cannot create something that God did not create. And God did not create darkness, only light. Therefore, darkness is absence of light, and it is absent. If light is absent, it's because we have just covered it up. Very, very simple. But To be in a state of light is to be honoring what life is. So when we are our happiest is when we are expressing ourselves fully. When we cover ourselves, notice somebody who's depressed. I know I've been there. When somebody is depressed, it's like they're lifeless. They're dark, they're dense, they're miserable inside, they're shut down. Well, that's because creation and darkness cannot coexist. What wants to be light and express itself and create and express and extend cannot coexist very well with the desire to make dark and block light, which is to block life. That's why depressed people, we are lifeless, and people who are happy are exuding life. All right. Let's see. In order to see, you must recognize that light is within, not without. You do not see outside of yourself, nor is the equipment for seeing outside you. An essential part of this equipment is the light that makes seeing possible. It is with you always, making vision possible in every circumstance. So to give you a very simple example, inside of us, we're born with the light of God in us. And it is our job to extend our light. It is our job to, from the time that we're little, to be reminded that what is inside each and every one of us is to be expressed. That's what children do. They express their laughter. They express their joy. They express their desires. They speak up. They share. They project what is inside of them. So we have this light that emanates, but over time we're trained to block it, to shut it down. And then we get trained into believing that light is outside of us. We're seeking that shiny thing out there. We're looking for something that's going to make us feel better about ourselves, lighten us up. So, for example, we'll chase for a book or a teacher or an experience. We're looking for the light outside of us. Well, I wanted to show you the example with this little flashlight. So I'm going to turn it on. So if this was a really dark space, the way that you find things is by turning on the light and shining it on it. Then you can see clearly what is there. But what happens to us is that we, see what happens? We're looking for the light and we want to go find the light, but somebody else's light pointing at us when we're not ready blinds us. It's hard to see. So what has happened is we go find books or go to courses and people who have a brighter light than we do in search of our own light. But it is not until we find our own light and turn it on that we can actually really truly see what is light out there, because it has to be coming from us to see it. That's why we hold a flashlight when we're the ones walking around looking for things out in the dark. We hold it and we point it out. So let me just read this again. You do not see outside of yourself, nor is the equipment for seeing outside of you. An essential part of this equipment is the light that makes seeing possible. It is with you always, making vision possible in every circumstance. And this particular lesson, number 44, God is the light in which I see. In paragraph number 3, it says, today we are going to attempt to reach that light. But let me share the challenge of this. It tells you right here. And by the way, it was Jesus who channeled this Course in Miracles 50 years ago through a woman named Helen Schuckman. So this is Jesus talking to us directly. So it's going to give us a form of an exercise to use. And it is a particular difficult form for the undisciplined mind and represents a major goal of mind training. The course is a course in mind training. It requires precisely what the untrained mind lacks. Yet this training must be accomplished if you are to see. Then I'm going to jump down to the third sentence in the fourth paragraph. So the form of practice that we will use today is the most natural and easy one in the world for a trained mind, just as it seems to be the most unnatural and difficult for the untrained mind. So this is going to be easy if you've done a lot of work in getting your mind straight to think with God. If it's relatively new, or the Course in Miracles is relatively new for you, this is going to be very, very difficult because it goes against what we've been trained, our minds have been trained to do. So your mind is no longer wholly untrained if you're reading some of this. You are quite ready to learn the form of exercise that we will use today, but you will find that you will encounter strong resistance. The reason is very simple. While you practice in this way, you leave behind everything that you now believe and all the thoughts that you have made up. Properly speaking, this is the release from hell. Yet, perceived through your ego's eyes, it is the loss of identity and a descent into hell. So here we have an opportunity to say, finding the light in me is relatively easy to do, and it's what frees me. It's what takes me to heaven. But to believe that there's something good in me for the ego, that feels like hell, because it has to give up all of its stories. I'm not good enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm unworthy. I'm abandoned. Nobody wants me. I'm not special. I'm not good. I'm not smart. I'm not tall. I'm not lovable. I'm not liked. All of those thoughts that form the ego mind is what creates the darkness that does not allow us to find our light. So that's why we look for the light outside of ourselves. We want the tall people to like us if we don't think we're tall enough. We want them to let us in. We want to get the taller shoes. We want to, rise above. We want to become like them. If it's the pretty people or if it's the smart people, we want to go get the certificates. We're chasing light outside of us because we haven't come to accept what is good and holy and beautiful within us. So, to give up all of the thoughts that we have about ourselves that are very ugly, very nasty, very dark, to the ego mind, our identity feels horrible. Oh, who does she think she is to tell me that there's light in me, that God is in me? Well, I get it. I've been there. I've done that. I never thought I was holy. I never thought I was worthy. I thought I was a sinner going to hell. And I never, ever, ever thought of God as inside of me. God was on a cloud somewhere deciding if I was naughty or nice, like Santa Claus. But to accept that God is inside of me began a journey of self-love and self-healing that changed my life. Yes, it takes a very long time. I've been at this for 20 years, 2 decades, but it is the best thing that I ever did and totally changed everything about me. So let me stop here, and tomorrow I will continue, because this can be a really, really challenging lesson, to believe that God is the light with which I see, and to accept that God could possibly be in me. But I assure you, that if I can take on this journey and come to find the light of God in me, come to find that which is good and wonderful and holy in me, come to accept my innocence and my eternalness as God created me, if I can do it, anybody can. So in these messages that I offer every single day, I have been guided to be an example of what's possible, because I'll never tell you to do something I haven't already tried. And that is because I'm an ordinary person, but I've gone through an extraordinary mind training. I have completely emptied my mind of other thoughts that are not true, and that has allowed me to open my heart. See, you can't get to have a totally open heart and live your life in peace and enjoy if your mind tells you're in danger, you're not good enough, somebody else has what you want. So the mind has to be trained so that the heart can open up fully, so that you can feel safe to be who you are as God created you. If you want to find the rest of these messages, they are on my YouTube channel, Laina Orlando. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can get all of the messages, and hit the notification bell so that you can get them as soon as I post them. Also, go to my website, lainaorlando.com, and you will find a free e-course that helps you better understand in a real simple way, through something called the Soul's Journey, how we all come to forget the truth of who we are, how we darken ourselves, lose our awareness of our light, and then what do we need to do to become self-aware and then awaken the magnificence that is inside of us. Thank you so much for watching this. If you enjoyed this, share it with a friend. Let's spread the light. Let's spread the love. Let's spread the joy. Let's share the awareness. Love you. I'll see you next time.